set up a play. But as of right now, I think what we can do is simply just and we could get rid of all of this, but the reality is we are very much right still underneath or still down in control, and it has been this wall time after time and this area of consolidation that is holding us up. So if you're looking to go long, this is a waiting game. I don't really see an opportunity here unless something breaks, whether that's with a catalyst or not. That's what I'm looking for. There's a level underneath us at 67.86. That, of course, is one of the only things that could hold you up, but is the break point to fall further. To the upside, there's not really much. Nothing has really changed. Again, you can go watch for further details, but we did tap the floor at 6,900 and fell. So I'm just throwing this out there. I'm not touching it until we have, like, when you're in these situations, it's just so easy not to fall for the trap. You have, and actually, I think I'm wrong on my box, but you have a box underneath you, you have structure, and I'm not moving when I'm trapped in between the two. Just that simple. And in fact, in that range, you could expect a lot of things like that, big wicks, but deception is there. So my TikTok only buffers when I try to watch you. It's Masad. It's Masad. All right. So anyway, ES is under resistance. If you're looking long, you know where you need to go. If you're looking short, you know what we need to break. In between the two, no touchy. RTY, not really much of a change, although it is looking a little bit more south. As of right now, that could change, but of course, 25.16 is that level underneath us that is set to hold or set to potentially bounce. If that range is lost, of course, there's a pocket down to 24.92. But as of right now, again, on the 24-hour, the setup is not giving anything, right? This is what we had to break. We broke it. We're above it. This is what we have to go and break as well. We haven't gotten there, so we're in between the two. I'm not really participating in this one either. So this week so far, now here's what I can say. Be ready. All right? Be ready, because this week is one of those weeks where we have the consolidation on the Qs and SPY to make the bigger move. Flat out. That's what we have. So anyway, that being said, let's take a look at the NQ. And this one is subject to the same scrutiny, right? Same level, same everything as we have had before. It wicked up and it touched these two candle closes and of course was unable to break it. However, it has not nor given us a signal that it is going to fall. It has not. And so in my eyes, as of right now, anything underneath, and you can set your alerts or start setting alerts, but underneath basically 2,600 or 26,000, that's where we want to see at least a partial trigger. The next trigger lies here, and again, NQ isn't super attractive to me. There still is a 630 price target above us, but of course, that doesn't happen until we break the top, and that's looking at the Qs and this box up above here. But that being said, again, we haven't lost anything that says short. I can tell you for sure that for me, it's that 25.4. When that's lost, I feel very strongly about a reversal. Yet how that candle closed will decide everything. All right, now that is your 3 ETFs, all flat, all without a signal, no Potter boxes. There is empty space on SPY, there is empty space on IWM, but it is not here yet. So this week, going into this week, be ready. We'll see how this open turns out. If we move down, if price moves down, that could be an opportunity to gap fill and rip and move higher. So maybe not having a bias until one of those is broken is going to be in your best interest. So thank you guys. If you keep tapping your screen while you watch, I do appreciate it a lot. I'm shadow banned. Oh. I hope Jay Diamond comes by the stream to say hi. Want him to see my background. All right. What are the we'll take a look at that. All right. Now, this week, um, I've got a couple of things on the watch list here. All right, so I'm gonna let you know that, and I told you guys this before. I am short on gold. I have a 630 put, or excuse me, I have 380 puts for December 10th. I bought those at $70 a piece. They're currently at about $85 a piece, so I'm up a little bit. That being said, my stop loss for this position is going to be basically anything back over 388.60. And if you're looking to participate in this, of course, we're looking for a breakdown underneath 384.85. That simple. That's what we're looking for. No need to confuse that. Now, that being said, I also took Sony $27 puts, just kind of as a little bit of a, just an example test trade here. But we're sitting at the floor, so I decided to go ahead and take a little bit of those. I literally mean a little bit. But this one I'm looking to trade here going into the future because of its consolidation. But this is a stock that I actually built a lot of my accounts on. Because its ability to gap up overnight and cheap contracts, it is not something to fuck around with all the time, but it is something that when the setup is obvious or the consolidation is clear, as it is here, I like to participate. All right. Now, if you have anything you would like for me to take a look at, any requests, I'd be happy to take a look at that now. So go ahead and drop your requests and we'll take a look at it and see if we can't find a decent setup. Now, this I have no idea. Lord have mercy. Okay, so this is where my analysis, again, I would never sit down and do analysis on something like this. So obviously my strategy doesn't really, there's not a lot of boxes here. There, in fact, there's little to none. You have a range and a floor that you need to grab, and that was 407. You failed to do that. I mean, I don't know what this is, but this is obviously nuts. Um, but yeah, I mean that's a floor. Other than that, man, I mean everything that you do because of how fast this ripped is likely going to be on the 30-minute time frame. It looks like you have a floor at 226. Yeah, this is really something that it's going to require quite a bit of your time trading that one. So yeah, I have some Sony puts. All right, keep dropping your requests. I'm going to try to make my way through all of them. Pins, upside 24. So not bad, right? You held your close. The candle did retrace back down. So I think the 4 hour is likely going to give us a better insight, and that it does. So we have a floor, or excuse me, a ceiling that we broke over to our left at 2750. You are holding that. You are retesting that. You are bouncing off of that after your retest. So my guess right now is just hold what you got, right? Build inside of here, and potentially we could see that next $30 target, which I have marked out on my chart directly up above us. So yeah, it looks good. All right, let's keep going. AI upside 24. Do we see some upside on AI? So far, the floor right now is over here to our left, but it's not clear. So we're going to go to the 4 hour to see if we can clear it up. We can. We have that floor at 1450. We'll move the range over as well. That range is here. We are at cost basis. That's why you're struggling to do what you're doing. So the floor that you must maintain is 1475. Breaking over 1550 would give you a break over 1617, and your target would be up above here at $17. Of course, I would be eager to take part in this if it's set up going into earnings for that $22 run, but we're not quite there yet. Puts. I'm shorting I'm shorting Sony, but I'm also very light in my position because it hasn't given me a for sure signal. Disney is still in range. I can make my this is very clear to me. It's not something that I'm looking to trade quite yet. Obviously, with a candle close at 107, that's where we want to see a break, and of course we have not. Directly up above you in the first floor to your left, would be right around that 104 area right here. So right now, I guess you could say 106 could get you to 107. 107 break could get you up to that floor. But what I think is more consolidation. In fact, I could see something along the lines of that before you end up get going. I mean, I do like the setup, but not quite yet. SoFi, a lot of things are cooking. SoFi, what direction are you looking at SoFi? And thank you guys for tapping your screen. I appreciate it. Yeah, what direction are you looking at SoFi in? Because from what I can tell over here to your left, you have a range, not a box, but you are sitting at the 50% mark of that box, creating your own with 3 off the top at $28. So above $28, you have a clear shot directly back up to retest the same thing you broke, which is 28.50. And because of the empty space beyond that, you could also look at a secondary target at 29. This is all being recorded, so if I'm going too fast, just go to YouTube after the stream is done and I will have it uploaded. All right, Shopify, 24-hour. I need a direction. Bro knows about the great noticing. I do. All right. That I do. But are we noticing enough? Not quite yet. Let's go back here to the weekly. So I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, so now I can see it again. There's your range. There's your floor inside of said range. You know, I really see that's 163.70. So I mean, if you're looking at this, if you're looking at this to the upside, I mean, it is reminiscent of a lot of the ETFs at the moment. It has no empty space, and that's what bugs me about this setup is there's just nothing, and it's extremely choppy up above you. So marking out exactly where that mark is of rejection, or where those sellers control the price, that would be 165.37, and I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. Now, if you're looking at this short, again, the same thing goes. You really don't have any, like, I hate trading Shopify just because of the contracts, but it would be if you're looking short under 158. And at that point, I'd be trying to get the gap at 149. So, what the fuck? Oh, here, I gotta line that up. Make sure it's perfect. Look at his face, dude. Look at how stoked he is. He loves that shit. Yeah. Sorry, I've seen the bald dude before. Yeah, he wants to keep talking shit, and I think it's really fun. He might be having a bad time, like I might get under his skin, but like I'm just having a good time, which might be toxic of me, but that's for my therapist. We'll tell her about it when the time comes. It's crazy how offended people get when you say, "I don't think that we should bomb kids," and they're like, "What's that flag in your bio?" That's the whole how the whole thing started. It was crazy. All right. Anyway, keep dropping your request. Bill, Snow first. Sorry. Give me a direction. Up. Okay, Snow up. All right, so you are at this box and you just lost your. So, dude, again, guys, this is the easiest shit in the world. If you want to go long, you got to go long where they held short, and that's 231.68 on the 24-hour. It's perfectly lined up right here at 232 on the 4-hour. You have a goddamn wick off of it, so I can assume that, yeah. So I mean, it's pretty clear. You know, you need to get back up above that 231.50. You have a box or a range directly up above you there at 234.40, and then directly. I mean, you could, yeah. So I mean, those are the two major obstacles between you and there. Haven't my Matthew? I have not made a huge watch list, brother. It is right now the market's looking a little flat. All right, so Tesla, we've talked about this one again. It did stagger right up against the top of this channel. It's staggering right around that cost basis level, building its own box, but getting rid of everything, right? And marking this out just as it is. You'll notice that we're sitting right at the 50% mark, and that's not incredibly unusual. So at the moment, what we have to decide, or what we're likely looking for, is volume, right? And if we don't have it here to make it through the 50% mark of this box, we will come back down to get it. And that would be Tesla's likely pullback, where you could see it down to 232, but that of course would be triggered by a lower time frame box, which is here. So if you want to go short off of that down to the floor, of course, it's going to take a break under 251.18 or 19, 247 clear, and then you have that retest to at 440. Sorry, not two. But yeah, so this is another read and react scenario. It's not clear, it's not ready unless you have. So I think, again, I'm always looking at it from the perspective of the 24 hour. But that doesn't mean that, like, if you're looking at Tesla and you're looking at all of this, you're just required to be watching on a lower time frame, because that's where it is clear in terms of boxes. So, all right, what else? Cores up. Unusual, and it is very much under the control of I'm trying to see it right now. I think that's, yeah, there it is. So yes, I can and do see more or potential upside here. I can see that you are bundled up against your floor, and especially the floor at the green candle in the most recent price action. And I do and can recognize that above this box there is empty space, and that would likely lead you to that price target of 1833. And then possibly, because again, channels aren't meant to be they're not always control instruments the whole time, you could be looking at a $19 target. So I'll let you guys know if I add anything to my watch list. Again, if it doesn't look good, I just don't trade. It's just that simple. Or if I don't find anything, I just keep looking. And if I don't find anything after I keep looking, then I just don't trade. Reddit is well above where it needs to be, which is the 223 level, but it went to that 50% mark of this range, and it did stop. So there's your answer. Right now, if you look above and below, you'll notice the floor is here, and that is what you bounced off of. So do not lose 230, and you should be in good shape to potentially flip that. And you do have continuation above you. For next target will be 243.50 though. Celsius up. Yeah, I'm actually gonna get my sister-in-law. I'm teaching her how to trade. Probably should have texted her the link. She's got a newborn baby, so she's busy. But I'm gonna have her trade this one, and I'm probably gonna get her into equity. But again, the time has to be right, and we had received another rejection at 43, so it just tells me for sure that's where we can take it up. But as of right now, I'm boxing it up and I'm leaving it alone. I'm setting alerts on both sides of the boxes. You can set some at the middle, and I'm just leaving it like that. It's just not ready yet. That being said, this is what's kind of keeping you down as well. So Meta to 700. Ow. Oh. I did do SMX. Yes, that man, dude, that is not my cup of tea for sure. All right, Meta to 700. That is quite possible. Yes. We got two decent days, obviously a huge retracement off that first day. And so the way that I'm looking at it is that same rejection point of 677, we need to make it up above. And then yes, I do think, and you almost went wick to wick, but I would be looking at that 699.33 target directly up above you. This is the situation where every chart calls for the same shit, right? What's above and what's below. That's what's below, right? And that's 666.35. So if you retest anything, that needs to be it. So what am I sipping on? It's just a fucking, it's organic. All right. Everything to be running tight above. Okay. What the hell? Rivian. Oh, do I think PNW will go higher? Oh, let me do that real quick. Sorry, I mean just skip that. Yeah, I do think that it has some potential more. I think that retesting that right there is kind of essential. That's 203. The 24-hour, slightly 202, 200. So I mean, like you have a little bit left, yeah. But yeah. Oh, till Papa Powell's Peaks, yeah. All right. Now, I was pretty excited. I'm still excited about it. Uh, Obviously, we're waiting on the catalyst. We're looking for $19 to break. Couldn't be happier with the set, or excuse me, the way that it's built up to these levels. But as of right now, again, we have to look at the potential for a pullback. And here's how I'm looking at it this week. So you can get rid of the channel. Obviously, that didn't happen. And there's a box directly underneath us. I cannot have, or would rather not have, 1735 lost. If that's lost, I will be hedging Rivian back down to 1566. Now, the question, right, is how do we want this to fall? If this does fall, and right now there's nothing saying that it will, right? We haven't lost anything, we're still good. But if we build here, that would be bullish and that would help us potentially move higher. However, if this does, again, break that cost basis, then I will be hedging down to that 1566. I want it to fall fast. Rivian USA says there's big news on the 11th for Rivian. I gotta get this guy in the Discord to counterbalance Astro, just like a just you know what I mean? What would happen? I wonder what would happen. I wonder what would happen. That'd be interesting. Nvidia March calls, good idea. I can tell you this, man, that a lot of people are shitting on this stock right now. This could build up a lot of short interest. Here's how I'm looking at it right now. This previous wall, which has held Nvidia back many times before, is holding us back now. So without a doubt, yes. Above that, I do. If you the lower time frame supports a pretty large move to the upside, and considering the fact, or considering how big it is, it would be split in half, and we'd have a 190 target first. We'd go to the 1 hour, and you'd have a 194 target. So now you asking me that and saying, you know, is that a good idea? It's a good idea when 184.50 breaks. For me, I like that. However, with the 4 rejections that we've received off the top on the hourly, it does not seem like at the moment buyers are too pleased. So we gotta hold what we got. And if you want to be more stringent about it, you can just look at it like this, right? We're literally in between 2 hourly boxes. So underneath 180, there's a pocket of vulnerability right there. So you're in a read and react scenario 100%. Crash out channel would get chapters added. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we should give Rivian USA a fucking huge discount. Give them a 6 months pass to the Discord. I think that'd be actually I'm kind of evil, dude. All right, let's see here. IIN, three I's and an N, in Steel Industries. Interesting. Never charted this one before, I think, in my life. This is the first time for sure. um, from what I can tell, I mean the punchbacks work pretty well. I mean, it is a bit of a choppier stock, but with the empty space up above you and the candle close outside of 3165, I don't care what stock it is. I'd be looking north. So it looks good. Yeah. I mean, I think you could even go down to the hourly and probably set up a nice box right there, support right there. So that's not bad. Dude, I installed a new fan in my ceiling. I can like change the brightness and stuff. But Lord have mercy, this thing goes so fast. It's like a $300 fan, but dude, this thing, I mean, like seriously, it's kind of scaring me. I think it's gonna fucking fly. It's gonna pull my ceiling down. Too much thrust. What's good, Steezy? All right, let's see here. Win over Celsius. Let's look at SMI. Super micro computer. Uh, I mean, nothing too exciting happening at the moment. It is building, you know, once it builds, it usually rinse and repeat cycle wise. However, that cycle can last a lot longer than the one that you currently have at the moment. And with all the resistance up above you and the lack of price action that you have, even inside of empty space, tells me there's not a ton of volume right now. That 2 hour chart looks like there was a box there. So I think for now, 35.35 would be step one and getting up. And then at that point, I mean, again, do you have empty space above you? Kind of. So let me take a moment here to yeah, let's talk really quick about empty space because I want to show you guys the difference. All right, because I think there's some misidentification of empty space. So this right here, all right, this is actually really important. So you know, tap your screens. This is I don't know if I ever really do go over this, so I need to go over it now while the opportunity's here. I might even let's see, around the 37. Remember 37 time mark. When I tell Alex to clip tonight, it'll be at the 37 mark. All right. This is not clear empty space. Okay? And you might be like, wait, what? Yes. Let me show you the difference. That would be clear empty space. This would be clear empty space. This, even in here, would be clearer empty space. But that right there, so look at each candle individually, right? You could even say the same here. That is empty space. This fills that empty space up 50% of that candle before retracing back down. So has that volume been filled up? Now, does it lack resistance? Yes. Could it be easier to move through? Yes. But it means that there's going to be something different on the lower time frame. And what I want, this is important, What I want is empty space all the way down for the most part. So big dump, empty space correlates, and the more that the more you see those type of candles where they're bouncing and wicky but they're all red, the more time you're going to have to add to that contract. So, all right, flip is over. All right, so let's keep dropping your requests if you have any left. Uber. So again, another stock that at the moment it is trying to get hold of a floor, right? We can look at the 4 hour and kind of see what that looks like. There's their 4 hour candle. You also have a pretty perfect box and you have tapped its cost basis. So the answer, see, this is where a wave of relief just washes over me. You know what I mean? Because you don't need to worry about something like this. You just need to wait. There's empty space and a gap up there. So there's motivation to take that trade, right? But it also would more than likely lead to all-time highs. So there's motivation to take that trade. But what is it missing right now, right? What is it missing? It's missing the trigger, the floor that it needs to support. It's still holding, so we're still bullish. But of course, it is over 92.75 that we need to see a break. So it is possible, seeing how Uber moves, and it is even possible to pull off something like that. So my message here is be patient. TTD. You know what, dude? I mean, I'm not going to say this looks, incredible for it, but that is empty space, right? That at least on the 24 hour, that is empty space. It also does. I mean, it's not bad actually. We'll see if if that is true further down, but 4 hour time frame. So I can see some lower time frame setups here that are definitely going to be favorable potentially to trade. So it is not a mystery that outside of 41, right? Or even if we want to go ahead and say, I mean, fuck it, I'd say that a 2 hour candle close above 40.50 and or 40.85 would give you your first target of the 2 hour box directly up above you, which is 41.50, right? There's empty space to cost basis at 42.11. And it seems like that the range that's here, right, is pretty loose up to 43.50 as well. There's also empty space above that. So again, a great stop loss and probably a 2 week contract, because again, you are trading something that does have a lot, right? And I think if you want to look at it from a weekly perspective, it might even help there, because the reality is that TTD is much closer to falling, right? It is sitting on the floor. Actually, hold on, let me rewind. I would say that TTD, and this is why top-down analysis, even on my part, I apologize for skipping over this, start on the weekly every Sunday. Every weekend that you start charting, start on the weekly. It's just going to help, because right now when I look at the weekly, I say, okay, wicks, bodies, there's your play, right? A likely retest of $43. And then I can translate that to the 24 hour. Okay, yes, above the wicks, we have a play up to $43. And sometimes it's just better to keep it simple like that rather than zooming way far down and adding more stress. So yeah, if you can get a break outside of that 40.83, you could try to take it up to said price target, but you need to decide whether or not that's worth the risk to reward, or if you're looking for a much larger return back up, which would be obviously in the 83 area. But you know what would be dope is if this thing would come back down all the way to 32, and it did it quickly. Pretty cool. Wee. Dance, Jay. Dance with your boy. Look, they're on the same beach. Look, Jay's on the other side of the umbrella. See? Same umbrella. He's on the other side. All right. So basically empty space without much structure is what I'm looking for on the 24 hour and all the way down. The clearer the empty space, the more likely it's going to rip in the same fashion. So art continuation to the upside. Oh man, it better. I fucking personally, I have, mm, I got to be their number one customer. I think Cart does definitely have 4485 up above you, and to be honest with you, this is just too dumb to make a box. I think really I could just stick with that. The 24 hour. I mean, yeah, obviously this is going to be a box, and sometimes that's true. So $45 is a break point. There is a pocket of empty space right here, and that could also be something that allows price to continue moving up. Why is the old man biting his lip? Oh, that's what I was talking about, dude. Right? Why is the old man biting his lip? Like you could tell he's just fucking into it. Can someone please go to Jay's stream and ask him to please come into my stream, pause, and tell me why he has that face on? Just asking questions, not judging. I don't judge sexuality. I encourage you to explore yours. I'm not much into major age gap, those. I think those are creepy. All right. SoFi up calls. SoFi calls Catherine. Okay. So again, what is above and what is below? Let's look at the weekly. So the weekly, oh my God. That's fucking weird. It's not that weird now, but set an alert right there. Hold on. When inside of a box, things get fucking weird. So my answer would be inconclusive right now, but possibly 28. Break over those wicks, immediate, and I mean immediate floor at 28.50. That's a range. That also looks like a range. So in order for you to get back up, which is possible, it is because you are in range. You would have to accomplish A, right? B, 29. And then I think at that point, yeah, you could look up back up. To the other side of this, there is empty space below that floor all the way down to your next step. So I would say that if you lose this wick at 26.85, you're also looking down at 25.90. If you guys, everybody, all 116 of you could please tap your screen, I would appreciate that very much. Okay. Also, shout out to Kania. Hopefully I said that right. William, Jeff, Ray, Newman, Shia Lounge, Deschlude, and Catherine. You guys have been you're my top viewers. Appreciate you guys tapping your screens. All right. Is that a wide state? A wide state? What are you talking about? A wide state? It's Jay Diamond. That's that guy's name. Jay Diamond. All right. UBTS. So, oof, man, love it. But I love the retest. So yeah, there is still possibility of popping back up. You fell pretty quickly. This is always a great recipe, right? Typically scares people out, but you want it. Um, so let's go to the 30-minute because honestly, that's going to be my best bet. Okay, so boom, right? We've got three right here, 27.77. Second, we're going to need 28.30. Third, and lastly, pre-market box. And so it's going to be 28.20, 28.80, excuse me, and 29 flat. And that is where we can possibly continue higher. However, again, being that you are basically between, I'm not going to say a rock and a hard place, but you are at the floor, simultaneously trying to go and reclaim this box. So if you can't do it this week, watch for something like this inside of that range. I'll pay money to see Potter Box J Diamond. Dude, Voss is the one that teaches wide state. Oh yeah, dude, Voss is a scammer and a piece of shit, and you should not follow him. You should if you do watch his streams, start being hypercritical of everything he says, and you're gonna find many, many holes. He's also just a dick. I mean, I know I'm a dick, but like he's a different kind of dick. Like a dick with a curve in it, but like aggressive. Like he has to shake back and never mind. You get it. That's going on TikTok. All right. Or on YouTube. But he is. Like, dude, I would. Where is this fucking recording? I might just have to share it. I recorded this dude here. I'm not gonna say he was my friend, but I mean, I didn't have a problem with him. But I popped into his live stream the other night, and I just could not fucking believe that he was. Was it here? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm on a 2 win streak. No, ready? Here's you. Here's you watching the stream. Ready? Click my name on the top left, and then that'll pop up. He's telling people how to buy and shit. Stock, paper, scissors, open, and then it takes you right to my amazing website full of all the information that you need. I just feel like I just broke my knee. And then he's basically, I recorded for like a minute. Yeah, there it is. WAP is a like a launch passage. I don't know if you guys, that was another dude, but he literally he literally goes, "Can I get one WAP notification?" He was just I mean, he's begging. I don't know. It's just sad, the state of these dudes now that things are shifting again. It's like, bro, we've had months where nobody has signed up for the Discord. If I lived off my Discord, dude, you would know about it because I'd be fucking probably just like them begging. Just loud, but seems too sus. Yeah, Voss is just like them, though. I mean, like the withholding of the strategy, like people are so backwards. But anyway, I paid for Voss's Discord before. A lot of people have, man. A lot of people have. You listen, even with me, you should be hypercritical. You should be like, I'm going to tell you my strategy. All of my information is free. Like, if you spend enough time watching me and watching my YouTube videos, you're going to get it. I don't withhold shit. I explain my whole, or I'll just throw random bits of, like just what I told you guys about empty space. Like, that's shit that people put a price tag on. And I think it's backwards. People think about it backwards. If you can help your customer base, right? If that's how you're looking at it as a customer base, if you can give them, right, a taste of success, help them start being successful, what do you think they're going to do? It's called a symbiotic relationship. I help you, but at the end of the day, I know that there's people who are watching me right now that are never going to pay me a dime, and I'm okay with that. Potter has better hair than that. That's funny, dude. I'm balding. Listen, I'm thinning up here. Look at that shit. Getting it's getting there. I know you can't tell, but I look at it every morning. But yeah, dude, it's like I think it's the same thing if you were to sell any product. You know what I mean? I know there's probably limitations. Go for the mohawk. No, I'm gonna have actually one of the members in the Discord cut my hair. To my boy Mike's barber. She's here in Savannah, and she does like low top fades and sleek hair. So I'm gonna get it all fucking that Discord trip to Turkey. Yeah, Docs may have a good reversal. Oof, man, there's so many stocks that look like that. So many that are sitting near pivotal floors, and it's just so oof. What is that? That shit looks a little goofy. I have my ears pierced. I can put a diamond ring in that motherfucker right now. I had studs, and I had gauges back in the day. All right, so I see a floor that you've lost very strongly. I see a support that you're heading into here, and that's 4450, right there. Now, I don't see any major reversals off of this, but I do see major reversals off of this. That's the bottom of that range. So I could say that $40 would be maybe an appropriate place to bounce. But you'd also have to look at the previous areas where you've left empty space, like 38 and on. I mean, if we're this looks pretty bearish. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now, any one of these points that I just gave you could bounce and yes, could offer a potential reversal. And so to your point, right, before we lose too much, if Docu is able to recover, here's what you'd be looking for. So I want to find the floor over here to my left. Looks like it's right here. Looks like there's wicks off of that at 46.50. So I go to the 30-minute, and lo and behold, the 5-minute actually holds the answer, which means this stock is going to require more of your time. Wish I could make like, I bet you I could. Like almost like not flashcards, but I'm thinking like if I could put something out that would help people associate less higher time frame empty space with more time having been spent or having to be spent on that chart, like okay, that stock moved really fast, that means that you're going to have to or excuse me, that stock has clear empty space on the hourly, but as you get to the 24-hour, it's not as clear. So you're going to have to spend more time on those charts. It's the charts that are clear from the 24-hour, down to the hourly. Those are the ones that oftentimes are the best, and the ones that require less of your time. And I think for people who like that's a way to build a watch list is to actually be able to identify what type of stock or what type of setup is going to require more of your time. And that can be, again, something like this, you're going to have to watch how price behaves, in these small pockets. So looks to me that you never leave the house. Nope. I sleep here too. I'm actually not allowed out of this room. Yeah. I'm pretty pale. So I just stay in the house, goon, and open Pokemon cards. That's all I do. Do you teach people who are at the very beginning of trading? Yes, I do. If you are brand new, you are in the best place to be, which is be and that includes me. Be skeptical of everybody and make sure that you are already so like if you're, I don't know how long you've been following me or how long you've been listening, but wait. If you feel like you have an instinct to buy something from me, wait. Watch. If you watch anybody else, give them the same treatment. Are you getting the answers that you ask answered? Are you able to understand the concepts of their strategy and how they trade, and what they're looking for? Are they Do they answer your questions? Those are really, really important things that, again, it's like you have the choice on who's going to be your teacher or who's going to teach you something. And that's an important decision, an incredibly important decision that I think people, because of the instant gratification offered on the internet, buy my course, buy this, and then I'll set you free. It's like, take your time. They want you to rush into a decision that you might not have made or might not make if you just had a little bit more time. Um, how's my membership set up? So I have a workshop that includes 6 months, and that is basically, yeah, from start to finish, my strategy and 6 months. So that way you have time. You get the workshop forever, but you get 6 months in the Discord. So that way you can actually utilize me and the people inside of the Discord. Um, at the moment, I have lifetime. That of course comes with yearly, but or comes with the workshop. But I starting in the new year, it'll just be the yearly, which if you're brand new does include the workshop. But again, going into next year, things will change, and then it'll be the workshop. So, and then I also want to just mention this: we do not offer signals. We're not here to bait. Like we're not. I know that sounds defeating because a lot of people are like, well, I want guidance. We're going to give you guidance. There's going to be a lot of people in there who are all looking for the same thing. We're all using the same strategy. Um, so if you, come in, your goal should be to be independent or to be able to make decisions and discern. If somebody shows you a chart or I say this looks good, you can go and look at that chart and understand why, when, and how it applies to you and your risk, which is where your independence comes in. Because if you can't make those decisions on your own, even if you're taking signals, you would have to, to some extent do that. So, but anyway, that's it. All right. Hymns, 24-hour empty space. And I've been getting the question on whether or not we offer monthly. I do not offer monthly. Um, I don't know if I ever will. I did ask in the Discord because if you have taken the workshop, maybe we might do it. But I know it's easy revenue and I could make money from it. But like, how many people are going to come into the Discord who have no idea what we're doing or aren't even interested? They just want signals. And I've built something inside of our Discord, the group of people that we have. I mean, incredible. And that's probably one of the more valuable things is the group of people. So putting out as much so when targets hit, I made a certain amount. How do I feel about full porting setups, porting ETFs when setups are there? I ended up not regretting not doing it. Oh, I mean, I'm gonna tell you no, dude. Full porting is silly. I know that you hear Manny do that, but I can never, ever, ever. He's also not doesn't have his whole life in his account. He withdraws from his account constantly. So full porting for him is just using a fraction of his risk. Um, but no, you should never full port. If you want to size up, yes, but you stay within your risk because the next time you go full port, and maybe it doesn't work out, you're gonna fucking pay the piper. And the piper always gets paid. Or you get piped. All right. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, if you are feeling more confident, Jerry, but do it math. Listen, we live in the age of Chat GPT, and I'm not somebody who can go and help everybody decide what the risk is. Listen, I'm going to show you something right now that I don't know if I should show you, but you know what? How many other people? I wish I could shut off the live so nobody else could see this. I'm about to show you guys some shit that somebody in the Discord made. He didn't tell me not to share this, so I'm gonna share it with you now. This dude has been training chat GPT, right? This is the Potterbox mentor. William made this. Again, hopefully, if you're out there, William, I hope you didn't mind me sharing this. I didn't see anything. But that being said, this shit's crazy. If you have any questions about my strategy and I'm not around, what is clear empty space? Simple question. ChatGPT knows my strategy. So what I was trying to say is you could tell it how much money you have in your account and that you want to play low risk, that is you're adhering to the Potter box strategy, you're swing trading, you're looking for stocks that generally have $15 to $20 contracts. You can tell it what you're wanting to do and it will help you find your risk. That's a benefit of having this. But yeah, pretty fucking cool. Yeah, I know. I don't. That was me, and you can share it, William, dude. I was sorry I didn't give you a longer response back. I actually, when you sent me that, I had unplugged my keyboard. And so I was cleaning my desk, and so I just sent that sticker back, and I was like, I text him back. But oh, we were just discussing. One of the members in here has basically put together a Potterbox mentor and I went through this thing. I mean, explain the Potterbox strategy in simple. I haven't fact checked everything. Let's see. So, price action strategy is a pure price action framework built around one core idea. Price moves from one consolidation box to the next, and the fastest movement happens through empty space. That is 100% true. I sign off on that one. Identify the box. The box is clean area of sideways consolidation with a clear top, ceiling, and bottom floor. What defines a box? Box top. Repeated candle closes or wicks alignment where sellers take control. Pretty good. Box floor. Repeated close and wick alignment where buyers defend. Also pretty great. Inside every valid box is a 50% cost basis, the battleground where most volume fights. Think of the box as a temporary home where price gathers energy. Beautifully. Beautiful. Mark cost basis 50% of the box. Closing above, buyers gain momentum. Closing below, sellers gain momentum, right? It's the center of gravity of box. It's fucking flawless. Empty space is a zone between boxes where price has no meaningful structure. Also great. Key rule, empty space equals fastest movement in the system. I'm about to bust. Never enter trades inside of empty space. It's only for targets, not entries. Ooh, that one's a little rough. Never enter trades inside of empty space. That is true. It is only for targets, not entries. Yeah, so you don't, I guess that would be kind of true. Yeah. Determine directional using structural reactions. Price only moves in three meaningful ways: break, reclaim, retest. A powerful trend shift sequence. Lose floor, reclaim it, retest it. Confirms direction. That is also true, right? If you break down, tap a floor, can't reclaim it, you confirms the direction. So yeah, same thing with the punch up. This is incredible. So, but yeah, I'll talk to William. I'm going to keep reading this thing. Obviously, I'll see where he's published this publicly. And yeah, dude, I mean, this is something that, I've obviously made attempts to do, but just time-wise haven't been able to kind of follow through with that. But here's the Potter box strategy in one page. Draw the box, top, sellers control, bottom, buyers control, mark the 50% marks, locate empty space, wait for structure, never guess, reclaim, punchback. I mean, it's just fucking cool. Trade box, empty space, next box. Targets are structural, not emotional. Yep, do not enter inside of the empty space. Empty space is only for taking profit. Structure is typically where we take profit. So, I mean, tomato. But when empty space completes, the trade is done. Fucking true as shit. Always follow the higher time frame setups. Just absolutely flawless. No, we'll put this. I'll talk to William about this again and see how we can put it out for the Discord for everybody. So, but back to Jay. But I want to ask you guys a question. Everybody in here needs to respond. How many of you are tracking your trades via trade app? Go. Throw an emoji in the chat or just answer. How many of you are using a trade tracking app? TradeZella, TradeStation, or TraderView, or whatever the fuck it's called. P&L Web Weeble is not good enough. Trade app, no. Paper and pen, okay, nope. I don't even know what that is. I haven't been. No. No. Paper, no. No tracking anything. Nope. Okay, so you have an actual Jerry, you have a trade tracking app? Okay, cool. TradingView is not where you track your trades, I don't think. Stonk Journal? I think that's a free one, Charlie, yeah. Okay. Now let me ask you guys another question, and this will help me with the answer. How many of you are struggling with trading right now and you feel like there's just a couple things missing and you can't figure out what they are? Right? Some of you are just learning and you're just getting started, and that's different. But how many of you have spent a year or more or whatever, and you feel like you're taking trades and you make money, but then it all fizzles away? How many of you? Yeah, badum tisk, yeah, that is okay. You are new. Me, and I'm the problem. 3 years in trading, 197K loss. We got to stop that immediately, dude. You can recover this. I've had somebody lose almost just as more than that, actually, and make that back. In fact, Mike, if you're on here, you can, if you're watching this back, you could tell them about your story, because you definitely trading soul income. Catherine, fuck yes, good job. Okay. So I see a lot of me's. I see a lot of yeses to struggling, to struggling, to struggling. All right. I'm going to tell you guys something right now. Right? It's just me and you. I could not. It's almost like watching a video of yourself, right? You don't really see how you behave until you see it through a camera. And then you become kind of like self-conscious of it. That is the same thing with tracking your trades. You don't need to use it forever. You need to use it to become aware of what your mistakes look like on not pen and paper, but what they look like, data sets. I can tell you guys that I would not be here if I didn't track my trades. I don't do it anymore to the same extent, right? And I'm telling you, you don't need it forever. But if you are struggling, and you can afford to, even just for a month or two, go find a trade tracking app. Make that a priority. If you feel like you cannot get over your hump, it's going to tell you whether you're making more money day trading or swing trading. It's going to show you where you got in. It's going to show you the percentage of trades that are that you're losing, that you're winning. It's going to give you a visual thing to look at so you can see yourself. And then you can make adjustments. We've had people in the group tell me the exact same thing. They start out, they have, they're spinning their wheels. They make some, they lose some, they make some, they lose some. They're not getting anywhere. And then they're like, wait a second, I just looked at this trade tracking app. I put all my data in there, and it says that I'm losing 60% of my day trades, but I'm winning all of my swing trades, or I'm making the majority of my money that way. Okay, well, let me stop day trading and let me start swing trading. And that's an adjustment that you could only make if you had the awareness of what that is. And sometimes it's not your fault, right? Or we're not aware of what that mistake, or not even really how to tackle it. But I feel like through awareness, even emotions can be like tackled. You can even be aware of, like, okay, when I day trade, I get more emotional. All right, well, don't day trade and see if that works. If what you're doing right now is not working, right, but you know the strategy is, then it's a user error, and there is a remedy. I'm telling you right now, there is a way to fix it, and it's through more awareness. So, but if again, you could, maybe this isn't the answer for you, and you might get this and it might help, and you might have something else to go through, but at least it gets you one step closer. And I think If there's anything that if you know my strategy, you know what I'm looking for, you know this price of the contracts, you know how to pick contracts, you know how to do these things, and you still are not making those strides forward, track your trades. Call me and put a trade tracker in your coconut, mix it all up. It'll make you feel better. I am more profitable in swing trades, but emotions kick in and I don't get out in time to take profit. Do you watch your P&L? I have come up with a trick on how to do that, right? I hide my window on my computer screen, and if I'm using my phone, I flip my phone upside down. Chart, 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 chart. I swear to God, mantra. There's a reason that whole like ass communities came up with the name mantra. Mantra is speaking something into existence, right? It either works or it doesn't. 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 And when I do that, I stop myself. Listen, I am no different. I still have emotional outbursts. I still get, sometimes I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. And it's through those mantras, through reminders, that I'm able to have awareness and make a change or do something different, or maybe put myself in a situation where that I can make that change. But not not watching the percentages go up and down, and having the understanding that the only way that you would have taken that trade is if you had looked at the chart. So if you said, I got into the trade because of the chart, but I got out because of the P&L, sound pretty stupid, wouldn't it? I got into the trade for the chart to tackle this area of the chart, and I got out halfway and watched it rip the other. How many times do you need to do that? How many times do you need to see that happen for you to stop doing that? And it typically comes through suffering, right? You get sick of your own shit and you're like, well, fuck it. I'm not watching my P&L. I'm sticking to the chart. My 2 cents. So nothing changes if nothing ever changes. And you know what? If you're not changing, you're choosing. That was a tough one for me to swallow. Pause. But yeah, if you're not changing, you're choosing. That means you're choosing to do these things. And even if that means that you lack the awareness on how to change it, that's something that you can acquire. It doesn't mean it's going to be fun. It's probably going to be uncomfortable, but it is possible. What trading experience do you have? A lot. A lot. T-shirt. If you're not changing, you're choosing. It's not my quote. I wouldn't steal it like that. I do have T-shirts for sale though. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, I should show you guys my fucking T-shirt pile over here. I got 6 boxes of fucking T-shirts. About to drop a discount code. If you're not changing, you're choosing. Yeah. A lot is not descriptive. I've been trading for almost 9 years. 7 of those years dedicated. I came up with my own strategy, stopped listening to people after a year and a half, decided to forget everything that I was taught, stared at the charts, got rid of my indicators, figured out this strategy through hours and out every day. I spent almost 12, 13 hours in front of my fucking computer trying to figure out how to navigate, what anomalies I could see in the charts. I studied wave theory. I used volume profile. I mean, I don't really have like an hour, to go over my whole trading journey, but I talk about my trading journey to all of you guys that are well aware of it. But all right. Are we celebrating Jay Diamond today? We are. We are rejoicing in Jay Diamond today. That is what we're doing. For all of his hard work, we're directing all of our energy towards his vocal cords, because 99% of his job is just yelling that something is moving. And that's hard, really hard work. I've never really been able to do that. So we just want to give him his flowers. I just want to give him his flowers. Yeah. Not enough flowers out there, guys. Not enough flowers. Got to give our flowers. Listen, John's fucking laughing all the way to the bank right now. If you're out there, John, shout out to you, brother. Great job. ALK fucking kicked ass, and this was a beautiful punchback. This actually encapsulates my strategy so well. Just the way that price action moves, right? We could see the two bars here with empty space. We see the hesitation as we move through this 50% mark. You can even see the hesitation as you go to try to reclaim the floor directly over here to your left. You move rapidly through the empty space here on your chart, touch the floor, and get pulled back. Price, however, gaps up, retraces, moves to cost basis, and then builds. You build sideways for 3 days. And on the second day, fourth day, you open up on cost basis, explode out, close directly up against the only resistance you had, therefore allowing price to open up, retest, and move through the rest of that empty space. And as of right now, you're up against the top of this range, which is $50. It's a huge psychological mark. However, the next floor above us, and it is old price action, will be that $50 mark. So outside of the highs that you currently have, $50 is resistance, followed by this wick at 52.33. But at that point, you would be looking at the empty space up above you. And I will warn you that AOK is one of those stocks that doesn't always adhere. I can give you an example of that. I know this because of experience. I've dealt with this before on this exact stock. It does not always give you a for sure. So even when it hits 50, you could expect, based on its previous price action, for it to give you some sideways action. So trading after this explosion might not be as thorough until we see a little bit of a pullback to give us that juice. So you got huge candles. So, all right, let's see here. You booted me out of your Discord. It hurt my feelings. Did I, or did Ivy? Or is your name Cade? Could you go over how you enter a trade when it's near cost basis? Typically I look below on the floor. So like if I have a box, like even if you were looking at this for an example, I typically zoom down. I measure where my floor is below me. And at this point, right, you'd have to keep zooming down because this is not a perfect picture. And down on the 30-minute, I start to see structure, right? I start to see candle closes. And so already you have the 40 seconds. So if I know, again, I'm on the lower time frame, but I know where I'm at, I can move down here. And one of the most important things that you can do is find a stop loss or find where candles close. And that would be, I mean, from what I'm looking at here, yeah, you actually have a 5-minute base. So let's go ahead, 5-minute. So here's how this would go, right? You would wake up, and this is what this looked like, right? You pulled back and opened up in pre-market. You're sitting right here. This is actually 9:30. So yeah, pre-market opens, or excuse me, you come to the chart in pre-market, you're already charting and well aware that you're at cost basis or that you're nearing cost basis. Cost basis breaking means that you are guaranteed new highs. So naturally, you're trying to move down into a lower time frame to help you find a stop loss, because if you're going to enter during the day, that means that you cannot wait for the 24-hour candle to close to give you a solid stop loss. So you have to move down fractals, right? What is above is what is below. And you would have to move down to a time frame that you could find or utilize the same strategy. And since my strategy works on every time frame, you would move to the 5, right? That's where it's clearest here. On the 5, I'm able to identify a floor at 47.70 that's able to be reclaimed. I'm also able to identify a 48 solid top that I can also use as a stop loss. So again, we're back testing here. So again, everything's always 2020 and when you're looking in the rearview mirror. But the fact of the matter is that when you're in such a pivotal area, or you're in an area where you expect the most resistance, having a great stop loss is going to be numero uno. And so that's really it. I mean, every morning you should be prepared from top down on where it is. Like, okay, I'm up against a floor this morning, and the next target up above me is cost basis. So I need to move down to the hourly and see, is there something above me when we tapped that box? Did we leave a when we tapped that structure, did we build a lower time frame box that I could utilize to punch through into that floor and up into that cost basis? So, but keep that question written down. And so, like, if we get to an example where you're like, I don't really know, you can ask me and I can give you a better example. So, Tesla is very close. Yes. What time is it? 8:20. Hour and 30 minutes. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, we covered some ground. Thank you guys. 57,000 likes. We got. Thank you for the 3 new followers. We got whoever those people were. I will see you guys in the morning. I want just to recap everything here tonight. All 3 ETFs are range bound. Now, that means that last week they spent the majority of their time consolidating, right? Heavily. This, I'm going to take a second here. All right. In Cube Mongs, I'm not going to do that right now, man. I got to get off and go put my kids to bed. So, really quickly. All right, everybody. Kimba, I would disagree with you on that one. I think it's seasonal. To me, Tesla is seasonal. When the price of the contracts overinflate, I back off. I don't touch it because it's about to chop. And I've learned that now in a 7-year cyclical, 5-year cyclical pattern. So I do agree with you. When the price of the contracts drop, Tesla is amazing. In fact, I was able to scoop up $500 calls for really, really cheap. But that being said, everybody. I'm going to show you this. Consolidation, rip. Okay, I do this all the time. Consolidation, rip, gap up. Consolidation, gap up, right? So what am I trying to say here? Consolidation, move, right? What do we have here, folks? What do we have? So not to say that we're not going to move this week. Please don't take that as what I'm trying to say. That's definitely not the message that I'm sending. Be prepared. There is still an overhead target that I could technically say has been touched, right? And we have retraced back down. But I do expect for the ETFs to move, right? And we do have the potential catalyst, I believe, this week to get that done. Tomorrow we don't have anything, so maybe Monday is nothing. We build a little bit more, but Tuesday, ADP weekly employment jolts, and then on Wednesday employment, federal funds rate, FOMC. So we can say, okay, with great confidence that we have the setup to move, or because again, a lot of these consolidation. I mean, look at it. Consolidation, breakdown, right? It's consolidation, rip up. I mean, it is beautiful. It's beautiful because right now I hope that everybody is just patient. I hope whatever anxiety or anticipation just kind of washes away and you feel super chill, because that's you need to be a smooth operator and patient when it comes to this kind of setup, because where you enter and what contracts you pick, when you do it, is going to matter. So I see. Yeah. So the inverse head and shoulders, and yeah, of course, that isn't a pattern that I necessarily disagree with. Of course, if we were looking at a punch into new highs, this is why I'm not making a decision right now, guys. When it finally hits you, the relief of not of so like I used to show up every day to trade. I used to show up and try to like knock one out of the park, regardless of what things look like. And now I'm in the space where I know when not to trade. And I think that's been far more valuable than knowing, like when to trade. I mean, knowing when not to trade is what knowing when to trade, but it helped me preserve my money. And to stop burning it. And so sitting on the sidelines, right, with the Qs. I mean, I did take the Qs last week in IWM, but as they consolidate like this is where you can, again, not guarantee, but it is highly, highly probable that we see a bigger move. And so now, if you've gotten through this last couple of weeks, now you have the opportunity, excuse me, to actually make something happen. So, all right. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I still have to drop off the kids and everything, so you guys are going to be having to watch this video back and look for a pre-market movement yourself. I'll be there, but it'll just be not at the normal time. But anyway, you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the morning to take your requests if I missed them tonight. Am I taking ODTE? Not tomorrow. But maybe at the end of the day tomorrow, I will take I'll take probably 2 or 3 days in expiration. Usually I don't, it depends. It honestly depends. So part of me wants to see a pullback, but again, who the fuck cares? We can make money either way. So, all right. Good night.